Well, here it is, guys. It's 11:23 Pacific Standard Time out here in Roseman, California. The diary of the griever named John Weaver, which be me. It's, I think, either 11th or 12th of November 2022. When you go through a lot of emotional trauma, sometimes you start losing track of memory. And that includes immediate. I've been at this damn thing far too damn long. I came across a friend's memorial concerning about a friend of his, and I just had to respond to him. I just had to say, Don, I've been at this far too damn long. I've seen too many people. I have tried to write in different chat forums on Facebook about grieving. I haven't published any books. I'm not about to. I just do my videos to share experience, strengths, and hope of what I'm going through regarding grieving. There's no simple method to this damn thing. We just feel the pain, cry, go on. Some of us actually deal with it as a serious illness because sometimes it grabs at us too much. The reason why I do my own channel. In the event I happen to pass away, at least I want my story out there. Tell people how they can try dealing with it on a day-by-day slogging fest. When you're that close to a person and they rip out your heart when they pass away, it's... As I've been trying to explain in many of my videos, growing up as a kid, I lost a lot of people I loved. Friends, family. Had to be a tough little kid. But they never teach you how to deal with death in itself. You just had to go through it. I'm not talking about seeing someone else die. I'm talking about yourself. There's nothing dramatic about it. I was going through open heart surgery just to get some mitral valves replaced or fixed. One got repaired, the other one got sewn up, patched up actually, and the other one left alone because I kept dying in them too many damn times. They kept bringing me back to life, and they said, that's enough, this kid ain't going to deal with it anymore. So about 20 years, they kept checking on my heart to see how the thing was going to be until finally at the age of 30, they said, this guy is totally healthy. His patches and sews and everything else on his heart's doing all right. But I've been there, and I wanted to stay. But somebody upstairs wanted me back home. And it's not the easiest damn thing to deal with throughout your life. There was no born-again Christian-like thing going on where people are jumping for joy and hallelujah and stuff like that. I was pure terrified of life and death growing up as a kid. And I also had to lock it in. Big boys don't cry, but they also have to lock it in. Especially when I lose aunts, grandmother, more aunts and uncles, cousins, and friends throughout my life. Try to be a pillar of strength to everyone else. Don, do you ever look at Hollywood sets before? Externals? The exterior shots, how well they looked on the outside, and on the inside they look like crap? It's my insides. All the time. It's like if you'd seen the comedian Don, Robin Williams, how he kept trying to be happy and boisterous and helping people out like left and right because he knows too damn well what pain and suffering is all about. Yeah, well, I know it both ways. The latest within this past decade of losing my mother in 2013 and my big brother in 2018. Let me show you something. Well, I'll show you something. That, my friend, my mother and my brother, bottom picture, and where they rest in peace. No, the other ones are still alive. The kids of my cousins that I hardly or never see anymore. But the backdrop of when I do my videos is this area here. My studio. It's hard as hell, Don, when I talk about this on my own vids, because I'm trying to explain to people what it is like when you have calm sessions and other sessions when you get triggered so badly that all hell breaks loose. There are trigger words out there that put me into a state of mental readiness where just a subtle change in something will bring it all out, and then here comes the crying, the heaving, the pain in the chest, constant pleading to God. And then when I'm trying to get past it, how the energy's depleted and I have to cry like crazy. For some people it may be a once in a while. It's constant. This is not trying to this is not the way of saying feel sorry for me because I'm going through this. There's a lot of people like me going through this, I discovered on the chat rooms and also in other areas, but they also don't like to talk about their grieving. They don't want to talk about the pain. They don't want to talk about the loss. They don't want to talk about the person all that much like that. They want to remember happy thoughts about it. Well, the problem is, for me, there are no happy thoughts. They're just thoughts. And that's what gets to me. That's when I cry. And that's when I damn near die. You're saying about live life to its fullest. Well, I had lived life. I know what it's like to lose life, or come close to losing life. And not because of disease, but because of accidents. At the age of 10 years old, my brother was driving. He just got his driver's license about 3 weeks. He's so happy. We're in the process of moving from one part of town to another part of town. We're going to be doing a last run. A full-size station wagon, 1970s, Dodge Monaco. Big monster. We turned it into a subcompact. He was driving too damn fast, hit oil and water around a curve, spun, hit a pole. I damn near go through the windshield, but I smashed my face on a metal barrier where the glove compartment was, the little shelf there. I had to have reconstructive surgery. My brother has the driving interior coming close to him. And almost the engine landed in his lap. He was the one that got me out of the damn car. I'm trapped with my seatbelt secure around my waist. And during that time we didn't have any shoulder straps. This was also the night back in 1976 in the last 2 weeks of January that the specialists went on strike. That includes pediatric specialists. They had to get some specialists out in Children's Hospital Los Angeles to work on my face and work on my life. I'm grateful for those guys. But you know, I'm never grateful for my pediatrician. Kept trying to use me as a damn pincushion all the frickin' time. Even right after the heart surgery at the age of 4 years old, they kept using me as a damn pinata. They also used me as a dartboard. But he was also Very strict. He was very strict. If I didn't behave properly, my mother would get out of my case all the time. Or send over to a laboratory and have them do the blood work. I had to behave. Couldn't show any weakness, couldn't show any pain at anybody. After the age of 18, thank God I got rid of them. But, I still have to give him thanks for saving my ass. He's been dead about 10, 15 years so far. Losing a friend. Even a special friend that you've met many times. I've had friends I dealt with in school and in life. I dealt with one group of family that became our extended family. And for decades they were part of us. But when we both lost our mothers, that was the hardest damn thing to deal with. I've been trying to contact them, but the family just doesn't want to deal with me. How can we fall apart like this? My own core bloodline hardly ever pays attention to me. Despite the fact I keep posting a lot of stuff on social media, it would have been nice to get some kind of contact from so-called family. Treasure your friends, Don. Treasure them with all your heart, soul, and might. The ones that are actually mean something to you. The ones that have actually been involved in your life. Those are the special ones. Everyone else is just shadows and dust. I've had people over here in the complex who knew about my brother and me. Long story on this one, but that's why I put it on videos. After Ma's death, Dave, my brother, and I lived together for a time in the same place here. He had respiratory illness. He also had been suffering through trans-ischemic attacks the last year of his life. And he died in an ambulance ride between here and the hospital. And I never even knew until I got into the emergency room and I saw him treated like a piece of meat. It wasn't my brother anymore. I had been caregiver to my mother and I've been caregiver to my brother. The boys of Mary Ann. It's the reason why I keep doing the grieving channel here is to get it all off. But I can tell you something that still continues on and on. Sometimes the grieving gets so damn bad that I had been and still trying to work on being a college student even in my adult age. 30 plus years ago, I got thrown into the academia world right out of high school and wasted 2 years and had to work full time because either I did that or I became homeless. I wasted 2 years in college and came up short. Letter of separation. You don't like to get that one. When your GPA keeps falling down a certain threshold and you can't bring the damn thing back up. I didn't have it in me during that time. I didn't. So when I started working full time and tried to go back to school, just taking one class at a time, it still wouldn't work. Damn work schedules. Retail hell's like that. Screws you over one way or another. I don't know what to tell you concerning about your friend. Except to say my heart bleeds and breaks. My thoughts and prayers go with you. I deal with a lot. It's not that easy. I had been on a cruising once with my brother, the Monarch, before she got decommissioned years later. My mother had been a bookkeeping income tax specialist. She had many clients in her active years. One of them was a travel agent. Bull Rush Travel out in Encino, California. It was a guy named Jerry. I kept forgetting what his last name was. Disney fanatic, dude. Disney fanatic. But he had a falling out with Disneyland, especially when Eisner was making the changes concerning about the handicapped area. Oh, handicap access. My friend was handicapped. He was using a cane. He couldn't walk very much. But he did walk, and sometimes he'd use a scooter. My mother did his taxes, saved him money. He repaid my mother and a friend of hers on a 10-day Mexican Riviera run on the Sun Princess. God, she was gorgeous. I'd seen cruise ships in pictures before, even on television, but God, dude. Port of Los Angeles, I'm seeing this white angel. She looked gorgeous. The lines, the smoothness of the whole beam, fore and aft. Oh, she was slick. She was like a spaceship. God, she was slick and gorgeous. I saw the new Sun Princess that they came out with. I'll take the old Sun Princess any day. She was better looking. I kept trying to convince Ma I wanted to go along with her instead of a friend of hers. Ma enjoyed herself. So did her friend. Dave and I happened to go next, but this time we did a 3-day Ensenada run. Monica sees. At first when I saw her, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's like Luke Skywalker's reaction to the Millennium Falcon. What a piece of junk. Oh. The last day of the cruise, man, I never wanted to leave off the ship. She was small, sovereign class. She was just right for just a 3-day run. Just enough to give you a taste. Just enough to get you hooked on the damn thing. Just enough to get you the buzz to go out there in the water again and again and again. I bought magazines like crazy just to keep up with the buzz, but I never had the opportunity ever again to get back on the water. And I still love to, and I wanted to. Unfortunately, Monarch several years ago had been turned into scrap metal. Sucks. So, I know cruising is, and it's one addiction I wish I could afford again and again and again. And as for dealing what we're dealing with. See, I don't know, Don, how well your barriers are still there. It's still intact, and you're keeping up with a lot of strength on it. You're keeping up with a lot of positive energy. And a lot of people are feeding you into that. You got support. Don, when you lose support and you lose everything else, that means a damn to you. I can't tell you the consequences of that one, dude. Some people probably think I go over the edge. No, I'd already been over the edge and came back again. And let's just say I had a different sour attitude towards life, unfortunately. But no, it didn't mean I was going into the dark side of the forest either. just surviving and trying to deal. And when I had my brother and my mother with me, I was okay. Sometimes we'd argue like crazy. Families do that from time to time, but still, having my brother with me all the time, that meant everything to me. I've shared stories about my family on my videos. And I talk about it from time to time. That's what I do on my channel. I talk about what I've gone through, what I've been through, what I'm going through. Both positive and negative. Oh, good Lord, Shia must be a beta up. Uh-oh. You up yet? Or are you freaking out on me, Mom? When you're a pet owner, guess who takes more priority in your life? Yeah, I think she went back to sleep good. Don, let me show you my woman. Say hello, Mama, to the world again. Aw. I know. Give me a few minutes, will you? Well, that's basically my story. I'm going to lay down, okay? So you can stay here. You can stay here, Mamas. But that's my story for right now. I hope things are going to be okay for you. It just takes time. Grieving usually does. You've got a better handle on it than I do. I hope one day we'll get to meet. Till then, as they would say in the Navy, fair winds and following seas.